when we met, she invited me around to her house, which was incredible, really. So my dad drove me all the way over to Telford, which it was sort of like after school as well. So it was a long evening. I went over to her house and it just seemed really surreal, just all of her sort of like trophies and her medals, just in a windowsill. She's genuinely such a lovely individual. We shared sort of like our stories, and I interviewed her as well. And she used to run as well, which again is why I think she's just incredible, because we're very similar in what we used to do, and obviously used to run as well. And then she used to run up mountains and do a lot of long distance running and mountain running. And one day she just had pain in her feet, and it was just really crippling. And years later, turns out she has complex regional pain syndrome in both of her feet, which was also the end of her running career. But she's found archery, which is incredible. She's an incredible archer. She went over to Delhi last year, and she was the first Paralympic athlete to win a gold medal in an able-bodied competition. And when I spoke to her after that, she said it was just incredible. She just turned round, and she didn't realise how much of a big deal it was. When she turned round over in India, there was cameramen everywhere wanting to speak to her, and it's just incredible. I obviously have a lot of passion for Paralympics. I've been doing a lot of work going into schools and speaking to young people, and doing little assemblies for them as well. I'd always remember sort of the first assembly that I did back in March. I went over to a local primary school near where I live, and I went in, and first of all I did an assembly to a nursery group, which was quite challenging, obviously. Then I did it to years like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. When I did it to years 5 and 6, I sort of found out that when you're doing this kind of stuff with young people, they either know a lot about the Paralympics or they know very little at all. In some cases, nothing at all. But the thing that happened to me when I did this assembly to years 5 and 6, when I go in, I don't just focus in on the sports and the values. I actually use it to leave a message for the young people. I say to them that, you know, if you want to achieve something, whatever it may be, you know, you can achieve it as long as you put in the time and the effort. And I was going around, you know, people saying, what do you want to do when you're older? And obviously you have the typical answers from all of the girls. I want to be a footballer, I want to be a boxer, I want to be a wrestler. And from all the girls as well, sort of, you know, their typical answers. And I came across this one boy, very, very quiet. And I says, what do you want to do when you're older? And he was like, I want to be a Paralympic runner. And he stood up, and he had a leg brace on his leg, and he has actually got a condition in his leg, which means sort of he can't walk or run without help of this splint. And that was very, very powerful to me. You know, sort of 10, 11-year-olds saying, you know, I know what you're coming to speak to me about, and that's what I want to do in the future. And he was very much, he was a star of that assembly. You know, he came out to the front and was helping me and was doing lots of demonstrations. I think from then on, that's when I sort of realised, you know, the message for these assemblies should be really motivational. It shouldn't just be about sports. Speaks to them quite a lot about sort of a lot of these athletes get bullied when they're younger, and then they grow into this just amazing person, and they compete. And that's what I say to them. Sort of, you know, if you want to be a footballer, you have to believe that you can be a footballer. It doesn't matter how many times people say to you, no, you can't be, you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough. You just have to believe. And that's why I like going in, because, you know, knowing that you can make a difference to young people into what they think. Obviously the Paralympics as well is very important to me, because my dream when I was younger was to be sort of like, you know, I had this dream of being an Olympic athlete. I just wanted to run and sprint for my country. And it was never about sort of money or being famous. It was about sort of, you know, inspiring people, you know, young people and the next generation. Obviously that's not going to happen now. Which is when I turned sort of like the Paralympics, and before all of this happened to me and before I became disabled, I admittedly didn't know much about Paralympics at all. But in the past 3 years I've sort of educated myself on values and what it means. And I think when you look at the Olympics compared to the Paralympics, there's so much more to the Paralympics. It's got so much more to offer. The than what the Olympics has. You know, obviously the Olympics is this great sporting event, but it's very commercialised now. There's a lot of main sponsors like, you know, Coca-Cola, which is brilliant. But I think almost the Olympics has sort of lost its meaning a little bit, which is why I'm so interested in the Paralympics, because that's very much about sort of, you know, it's about the sports, it's about the values, it's about the individuals themselves. And a lot of our Paralympic athletes, they still have full-time jobs. Obviously, you know, people now, they've been to university, they have full-time jobs because they can't afford, they don't get paid as much as Olympic athletes do. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, is because, you know, these athletes, they work so incredibly hard, but they don't really get the attention that they deserve. Which is why I'm glad there's so many people here today. Because what I sort of hope will happen is you'll sort of watch these videos and you'll see the documentary next, and that will sort of inspire you to tell one of your friends about the Paralympics or something. And then that one person will tell another person, you know, and that'll just grow and grow and grow. And that's what I just want people to sort of be more aware of what it's about. So thank you very, very much for coming. The documentary we're going to show next is Ben. It's about a Paralympic athlete, Ben Rushgrove. I watched this documentary in the Doc Film Festival in January, and there wasn't many people in here. There was me and maybe 2 or 3 others. And sat at the front. I sat right at the back, right in the corner, and it started, and it's incredibly powerful. And I sat at the back by myself, sort of like got comfy. I found like 5 minutes in, I just found myself crying to myself the whole way through. I just ended up crying. I just thought, this individual is just incredible. What he's gone through and the mental capability that he has is absolutely amazing. So sort of like from 5 minutes in all the way to the end, I was just like a blubbering wreck right at the back of the room all by myself. So I hope it has the same. I don't want people to cry, but I hope it has the same effect on you that it is on me. And I think if you go away today, and the message that it will leave is just sort of, you know, I know a lot of people here are sort of grown up already. But you know, especially the young people here, you know, if there's something that you want to achieve, okay, just believe you can do it, okay? It doesn't matter what anybody says to you. If they say you can't, you can do it, okay? I know one of the young people here is going through our stats, and she says, it's easy, and that's brilliant, okay? So I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to show Ben, but really thank you for coming, and I really appreciate you being here. So thank you.
Oh, well done.